And the big D-Day is finally here. We are reading the January 25th update note. This one is from Korea because for some reason NA and global ones aren't available yet. But yeah, since content is equal on all of the servers, we'll be looking at the Korean note instead. So first of all, for the highlights, the Assassin Summoner is being released, Fairy Kings, the new monsters are being released, and there's a lot of other useful stuff. I've read through like half of the update note and the changes are pretty big. So let's go. So first of all, Heath is being released. He's being released as a summoner that you can play after completing a little bit of content. So as you can see, in order to unlock it, you'll need to have Act 1 Chapter 42 completed. I know Soleta had somewhat similar requirements, so it shouldn't be an issue for most of us. By now, even a player who played at least for a day will have that stage unlocked, so yeah, it definitely won't be an issue there. And just like with the Soleta, you'll receive a separate quest. You'll most likely need to go through a small dungeon and will be able to obtain Heath. Now here's some good and some bad news about Heath. So the good news is, if this is correctly translated, you will apparently get a box that contains 6-star 0 awaken hero grade equipment that is plus 15. So you will not need to build as much, and you can potentially, we'll see, it does say hero grade, so it means it is purple tier, and unfortunately you cannot succeed purple into legendary ones, I believe. So if you are able to upgrade it to legendary tier and then later succeed it into the gear you want, that would be great. If not, we'll see what the bonus is. You also get 3 monsters, which is Fire Harpu, Light Epicium Priest, and I believe this is like the Dark Darian. The translation is a bit wacky, right? You get some sort of a pet growth support box, so most likely something like Rainbow Mons, Breath of Life, XP Potions, maybe something like that. And 18 types of 6-star hero runes, again purple tier. However, here is a little bit of a sad part. Summoners belonging to each group share the transcendence level, and Heath does not belong to the rest of the group. Basically, all summoners have one affiliation, and Orbi, Akina, Cliff, Soleta are Hill Guardians, whereas Heath is a Shadow Mercenary, right? That means that if you already have max transcendence level on any of your other summoners, Heath will not get that, and you will need to unlock level 5 transcendence again. So that means he will start apparently at level 80, however you will not be able to level him up to 81 or 82 or whatever it is, because you need a transcendence first. Now it does say his skills. I'm not gonna read it right now because I will be live streaming right after this patch note, so you can check those skills here. But if you want a quick overview, you can feel free to pause the video at any point here. I'm showcasing all of his skills. I will check those skills in game, since they will tell a little bit more. They'll tell you like debuff durations, debuff levels, all of that. We'll test out all of the animations. But yeah, there's also a new area being added, so Sierra exploration missions are added. There will be 5 types of dungeons in the Sierra continent. As you can see, there will be guild requests for it, so there is potentially even a whole new field to AFK farm in, or even AFK gather in. Next up, of course, as they mentioned, they are expanding the dungeons in the Path of Growth as well Expedition. So Path of Training will now receive 2 hard mode levels. Path of Adventure will receive hard mode level 3 to level 5, where from level 3 to 5 you are basically able to get mythic tier runes. And in Expedition they are adding level, it looks like level 2 difficulty. Oh, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Oh, I think that was more than last time, right? And they did mention that Expedition will feature items that will allow you to reroll stats on runes. Next up, Mythic tier runes. So as you can see, I'm unsure what the stat here is. However, it looks like Mythicals will simply receive a 5th substat, and there's a list of substats that you can get on these runes. So as you can see, for slot 1, you can get PvP critical hit chance or accuracy. For slot 2, it looks like slot 2, 4, and 6 you will have more options. So critical hit, critical damage, accuracy, and resistance. Slot 3, you can get critical resistance, and this is, I believe, just regular resistance. Critical resistance is interesting because I think that is not an actual stat, like that's a buff, like a bonus, right? So it's interesting to see how that will play out. Slot 4, critical resistance, critical damage reduction, that's also not a stat in itself. Accuracy and resistance. Slot 5 reduces PvP critical damage, so... Ooh, that's interesting. Less critical damage. We'll see how big the stats are, right? And critical hit damage increase, and of course slot 6, critical hit resistance, critical damage reduction, critical hit rate, and critical damage. So, slot 3 is very... A lot of these runes are very crit based, which is interesting because what if I want to use a unit that is, let's say, Sharon, right? That mostly relies on weak point attacks. Then all of this critical hit stuff sort of doesn't matter too much, right? Like effect, like accuracy, resistance, that, yeah. But yeah, we'll see how that play out. And as they mentioned, not only will you be receiving an option to get these runes, you will also get unidentified mythic runes. We can actually be sold in the exchange center, or they can be appraised in order to receive a rune, potentially maybe even a random rune. Next up, we have Rune Appraisals. So if you are a Sky Arena player, you are very familiar with this. If you are not, let me explain it for you. So essentially, it looks like you will be using two types of items. So this is gonna be some side of a conversion stone, and we will be using the fine stones. If Comtos thinks anyone is using the fine stones for runes, good luck. And yeah, quite a bunch of gold, and basically it looks like you are not able to select which substat you reroll, but you will be rerolling a random substat. So there are some rules to it. Basically, if the substat is the same as the main stat, it cannot be rolled. Slot 1 cannot have attack percentage, slot 3 cannot have defense percentage. Those are like inbuilt limitations already. And potentially, I would at least assume, it's not written, but I would assume that the substat also cannot be the same as an already existing substat. So let's say if you have crit damage on one of the substats, you cannot get a second crit damage here. So we'll see how that plays out. For me, you can have the gold, you can have the conversion stone. I am not using the fine stones on runes. Not a chance. By the current obtaining limits, no. And monsters and summoners are of course being expanded to level 90. So for summoners, most of us already reached level 5 transcendence, so the regular 4 summoners will be able to get to 90 without any costs. However, for Heath, since he does not share the transcendence level, you will need to level it up once again. And for monsters, really no difference than going from 70 to 80. You basically that's basically what it refers to level 5 and 6 breakthrough, as breakthrough is evolution that acquires soul of, like, oh my god, soul of breath or whatever it's called, right? Breath of soul. So yeah, for those you will still need breath of souls and most likely rainbow mons with a little bit of gold. Next up, we got the Fairy King release. Again, since I'm gonna be checking these in-game, I'm not gonna go over their skills too much. But if you want, you can stop at any time. Feel free to read all of those skills. I just prefer checking those skills with all of the stats in-game, right? So if you are interested in that, make sure to meet me in that live stream in like an hour or two. And for the Fairy Kings, it looks like the banner will last until February 14th, which is roughly like 3 weeks. So potentially we'll be getting unicorns on that week or even a week after. Next up, the 3 new transmogs. So half sorcerer, which is basically a half magician, I believe. The Beetle Knights and sylphs are getting transmogs. The best part, all 3 of these transmogs are available in game. They are not in packs. So the Harp Magicians will be purchasable from the guild store. The Beal Knights will be rewarded for top 3 players in the battlefield leaderboards. And the Dragon Garden Sylph will be rewarded for the top 3 players in, it looks like, DOA hard leaderboard. So if you're interested in the transmogs, make sure to push real hard for those. I mean, you can get, it looks like, one of those Sylph in the shop, but there's also a way to obtain them for free. Now, changes to the Path of Growth. So as they mentioned earlier, they are expanding the Path of Adventure to level 5, and at level 5 they will actually be a ranked dungeon. As you can see here, the highest difficulty dungeon of the adventure path will be released as a ranked dungeon. So essentially you'll need to complete all difficulties, not all difficulties, but all types of dungeons in the level 5 difficulty, and you'll have some sort of, I'm guessing, will be a combined time, and the fastest time will most likely have some sort of a reward. We'll check that out in game. It's very hard to speculate, especially since there isn't a lot of info provided in here. However, if you look at this is the wildest decision I've ever seen. The maximum acquisition is expanded every week, and the limit is not reset. Oh, I should have read the sentence above. Mythical grade runes, which are special rewards for the new difficulty, have a limit of the number of the rewards you can obtain. Basically, starting with week 1, you can only get 8 mythical runes. This means that you cannot farm them infinitely, and there will be a hard cap on these. So I'm assuming that once you get 8, you are simply just gonna go back to legendary rune drops and will not drop any mythical ones. And every week they will expand those by 8. So they even give an example. Let's say you only got 2 runes in week 1, then in week 2 you will be able to get the rest of the 14 runes. What? What? What and why, by the way? This is so confusing. I don't know why that's a limit. But yeah, apparently that is. Next Illusion Garden will be the 4-star Light Lich. I know he's amazing for 4-star Guild Siege, so for everyone who hasn't gotten him yet, hey, there's a chance to get it. Similar changes happening to Expedition as they are for Path of Growth, so the difficulty is expanding from Hard Mode level 2 to Hard Mode level 4, and Hard Mode level 4 will also be a ranked dungeon, where you can compete for rankings and receive various rewards. As you can see here, they do confirm it that the transformation stones that are required to reroll rune substats will be a reward here. However, they are excluding rainbow mons from these rewards, which, hey, controversial opinion, that was the best place to farm rainbow mons, and that was my actual go-to place when I needed a 5-star rainbow mon quickly. But hey, I guess you can remove the only useful drop, especially with level 90 coming out, right? You remove rainbow mons and you force people to farm Expedition so that we would have a harder time leveling everyone to level 90. Classic Comtos move. There's a little bit of changes to Siege. However, since Korea was behind on these changes, I believe we already have all of these changes implemented. So the top 3 guilds are receiving a title and crystals, and the demoralization going to much lower percentage. We already have that, so it's only a new change for Korea. It doesn't affect us at all. A couple of miscellaneous changes. So first of all, when there is a free artifact summon available, you will have a pop-up next to the summon box. So that's great, because I know artifacts are a little easier to forget still. And there's some quality of life changes to monsters, so I'm not gonna go over all of them. This is like bug fixes, various other fixes. But what you need to know is basically there is an option to mass enhance your skills, mass evolve them, and mass awaken them from their page. So basically you don't need to spam one by one. Like, you don't need to spam Devilmons one by one, you don't need to spam Evolution one by one. You can just click one button and it will get fully upgraded. Ooh, and some cool arena changes. So, as you know, arena is turning full auto. It will not be written here because Korea already had full auto, but for us it will be going full auto. You will no longer be able to manual it. However, there will be a thing called a trial. Previously it was available 3 times per week, now it will be available 10 times per day, so you can pretty much use almost all of your wings in these trials. And they are giving various conditions on when you can do a trial, right? Previously, the power gap required for a trial was insane. I think, just based on my assumption, you needed like 30% less power than your enemy in order to challenge it. But yeah, now they're changing it a bit. So it's not possible for Master 4 and above players. However, for Master 3 and below, there will be a certain power gap required. So I'm not gonna read over all of it, but for the highest rank, for Master 3, it looks like you need 1.07 times more power on your enemy than you in order to have an option to use a trial, because as you know, a trial is basically an option to use manual mode. If it's a regular fight where your power does not meet this condition, it will be in full auto. However, if it does meet this condition and you choose to go as a trial, you will be able to manual your units. So ranging from 1.07 times more power to up to 1.2 times more power in the lowest ranks. And if you just still don't understand how these work, let's say your team has 1,000,000 power, right? Unrealistic, but sure. Your team has 1,000,000 power. This means that if the enemy has 1.07 times that power or more, you will have the option to trial, which means that if the enemy has 1,070,000 power or more, the trial option will appear in the Master 3 rank, right? So basically up to 1,200,000 power for the lower ranks where it says 1.2. Okay, and Galagos Ruins changes. So we can finally play Galagos again after a long 1-month pause. And looks like they have reworked it quite a lot. So first of all, there will be unranked and ranked modes, right? And as you can see here, normal battle, so basically the first 10 stages will be unranked ones. And they did mention that the main rewards will be available there. After you clear the 10, like the 10 zones or whatever they want to call it, I'm assuming it will be the same like infinite mode where the first 10 will have like 7 stages each, and after that you will unlock a ranked mode, right? Yeah, as you can see here, if you clear all areas on the normal game, the ranked mode will be activated. And ranked, they did mention, will be infinite. It looks like there's a lot of changes to the little cards that you get. I will not go into those too much. We'll see them when we play, because again, not a lot of information there. They just say like the rarity, the amount of times you can obtain each card. So yeah. Okay, and here's the clear rewards for Galagos, right? So it looks like one season will last 4 weeks again, no longer like weird 3-month durations, right? And what do we have here? So there will be 6 stages for each floor, and there will be 10 floors for the unranked mode. And let's look at the rewards. So as far as coins go, we can do it like this. So we take the lowest one, we take the highest one, and we make an average. So that will be like 10.5k coins. Multiply that by 60 stages. So we're looking at around 650,000 Galagos coins per rotation, which is quite a bit. And for other loot, there will be like around 1,000,000 gold up to around 3 million. So, ooh, that's potentially like 20 million gold in total. And for the forge stones, so we got around 5k in total here. We got around 12k in total, so average is like 8k. We'll multiply that by 10. So around 80,000 fine stones. Not bad, definitely not bad. And then there's ranking rewards. So first place gets a legendary artifact box, some crystals, 170k Galagos coins. Okay, let's look at the realistic scenario. I'm gonna play something like here. And we get rare artifact box. we get a little bit of crystals and a little bit of Galagos coins, whatever. And there's of course the Galagos Pass being introduced, so it looks like there are no changes to it. It will work the same way as it worked before. It will boost the amount of purchases you can by 1.5 times, so you can buy 30 light and dark legendary pieces. You can buy 3 extra light and dark scrolls, extra Devilmon, extra defining catalyst, basically everything that has multiple amounts of purchases available. And there is a new battlefield mode, which will be called the single summon mode. So single summon mode, played in sports mode, so you don't need to have any runes or even max level equipped. And alongside your monster, only one monster, alongside your summoner at least, only one monster is available to use. It looks like there will be some buffs for it, so the mana recovery speed is double compared to the regular battlefield mode, so it will be like 1.5 seconds for 1 mana. And yeah, there's the schedule for the gameplay itself. Now, hear me out on this. This will be the most pay-to-win thing you will ever imagine. There are some over-buffed units that alone will mimic the same abilities of like 3 units combined. And for everyone who has their Lanettes and all that, yeah, in general, it sounds like a cool idea. It will be complete hell. Trust me, it will be complete hell, and I am not looking forward to it. However, I will test it out. A little bit more quality of life changes when it comes to items and equipment. So the few at least that strike my eye is you can now auto upgrade your gear up until plus 15. Basically, it will automatically keep upgrading it, and I'm assuming will repair it as well until the level you specify, so which is pretty cool. And it looks like if your storage is full, at least that's from what I'm getting here, if one of your storages is full, you can keep getting these items as long as they can be placed in your storage. So as you can see here, material items for summoning, evolution, and awakening. So stuff like scrolls, breath of soul, right, breath of life or whatever, and awakening. So most likely just essences, transcendence materials, various clothing items, dressing room, the forging succession pages. So that's pretty cool, because sometimes you just get that pop-up where you have max items and you just don't want to clear it, but you also don't want to leave the dungeon. So yeah, that's a cool feature. That's a cool feature. Now this, look at this. This is such an interesting one. A system for acquiring costume effects in the closet has been added. Clothing and equipment appearances cannot be worn, but you will get the stats for various materials and costs. So it looks like there will be some sort of a way to maybe potentially get the stats a little bit cheaper rather than crafting the whole outfit. So we'll see how that works, because that sounds promising. Some very useful changes to the summoner pass. So for those who are, for example, coming back to the game or just decide to buy the Summoner Pass later on, after it has already gone through midway or even at the end, the daily rewards will accumulate. So basically, if, as you know, you get 6 Path of Growth tickets, 3 Essence Dungeon tickets, and 12 Quick Battle tickets. So if you, let's say, buy it on day 5 or something, you will get all of the rewards from there. So you will get 30 tickets for Path of Growth, 15 Essence Dungeon tickets, and 60 Quick Battle tickets, at least what I understand in that case. A little bit of quality of life changes to artifacts. The main change I want to point is that there will be some sort of a temporary storage added. So yeah, you can temporarily store artifacts in there if your bag is full, and desired artifacts can be imported from the temporary storage to your main artifact bag. We'll see how that works. The rest of the changes are just miscellaneous changes. I will not go through those too much. Now, with the release of the Fairy King, there will be a Garden of Challenge open. However, this one looks to be a little bit different from the other testing, like these little testing Caiross dungeons, right? Just look at this. In the Garden of Challenge, your score increases as you inflict more damage within a limited time, and boss monsters do not die and continue to respawn. So potentially, instead of just having 2 waves and then a boss wave, we'll have some sort of a scoring and maybe even a ranking system to see which team will do the most damage and hopefully increase our rewards based on that. Looks like the rewards for trial... What are these? Like, what do you call them? I hate the weird translation. Basically, the elemental towers, right? So, it looks like the rewards for those are getting changed a bit. I'm not sure whether we will get those rewards once we have already completed, since it doesn't say that in the patch notes. But, as you can see, some of them are getting changed. So, for example, floor 30, instead of getting a 5-star fire attribute weapon, you get a 3-4-star Delmon. Most of these, from what I looked, are just better items, right? Like, look at this 5-star legendary grade weapon. Like, no one used the weapons in there, especially since they had a guaranteed flat start. Now it's getting changed to something like 10 skulls, so that's great. That'll help out newer players a little bit. And yeah, that's about it for the updates themselves. Now we have a little bit of a teaser for various events. So it looks like White Shadow Mercenary Heath. This will be a permanent event because it does not have any expiration date. But yeah, oh my god, what did I just see? Another pass! Another pass! Another pass! Of course we need another pass coming to us. Yes, look at... What are these awards? These are garbage awards. What is that? You really think someone who is unlocking Heath will need a single purple gem? Oh my god, another pass. Another pass. At least you can get the Transmog for free, right? I don't want to see that. Okay, well, we have a non-stop challenge with the Fairy King. So, this event will last for 2 weeks. And, oh, wow, what are these millions, bro? What do we need to do? Clear the challenge guarded to... Oh, so this is the special event, it looks like, where you score a certain amount of score in that new Caiross challenge thingy, right? But yeah, looks like based on the total score you get, I'm assuming it will go at least 18 million, because there's a reward after this. Yeah, this will most likely be some sort of a ranking system, so we'll see how they look like. And what is this now? Your adventure will become a legend. So this is a 2-week event. Clear the adventure path and obtain adventure powder. According to the accumulated number of the adventure powder. What is that? Oh, I'll have to check that out, because I haven't seen any notice about it in the patch note itself. And then another reward is the Mythical Rune Memorial Exchange. So another event that will last for 2 weeks. And it looks like, oh, this is the, oh, basically the powder is just the regular event item. So what you can get here, these will most likely be mythic runes, I'm guessing. Some purple tier, what are they called? Books and effect stones. You can get 6 mystical, a whole 6 mysticals, guys. 6 mystical, wow. Really pushing the book here. Oh my god, there's another regular event. Get ready to explore them all. So this is like the regular events that start the day after. So this will last for 2 weeks. From what I'm seeing, this will be using energy. The rest of the worlds, I'm gonna guess, will be very similar to how they are before. There is a bingo here. There is a bingo here. It does not, okay, it does not say it. However, there is a wind bomber drawn here, and I am gonna guess that potentially we will be able to obtain him from the wards just as we could with like something like a Bastet event, right? That's gonna be my shout. It might not be the case. Comtos might be stingy and continue the bad event streak, but yeah, we'll see. Of course, there will be a summoning event since there are new units there. But yeah, apart from that, the rest of these are bug fixes. Look how many bugs we have in the game, and they probably didn't even scratch the surface. Yeah, big update, big update. Video is gonna be like half an hour long, but yeah, hope you enjoyed, and peace.